be more than there even is more lines right here. Canada or just in general? Page won't stay. Thank you. It's 5 minutes too. Oh, it's time.
Go ahead to read that all out, and then I'll start that.
Okay. Where's the
Just
go
waiting on
ahead?
Emerson.
What about him?
He's not there.
No.
There he is.
There he is. Tipsy. That would have been a good idea, except it would have brought it into the area.
Okay, go.
Go ahead, where's the
Yep, we're ready to go.
Okay.
Go.
Is it on?
Welcome, everybody, to the Acme School 2022 graduation ceremony. Please take your seats and turn your cell phones to vibrate. We'll now introduce the graduates.
Welcoming the graduating class of 2022, Emerson Gregory.
Braden Johns.
Deacon Benson.
Sawyer Still.
Garrett Bertamini.
Nathaniel Ferguson.
Caleb Pannett.
Tanner Morgan.
Quentin Martin.
Eric Wolstenholme Schmidt.
Spencer Barkman.
Avery Miller.
Tamara Lopper.
Colton Barrett.
Kieran Poirier.
Tyler Moulton.
Caden Banfield.
Damon Smeltzer.
Madeja Gouet.
Quinn Sawyer.
Elise Schmaltz.
Brinley Lohner.
Rosie Pasqualini.
Katie Eddyveen.
Brittany Friesen.
Kiara Pike.
Sarah Henderson.
Cadence Fuller.
Brenna Straub.
Kennedy Mack.
Alexis Williams.
Cassidy Kirk.
Thank you to everyone for attending today. It's great to see so many people at our first public ceremony in 2 years. We would like to give a special thanks to our honored guests, Mayor Bruce McLeod, Reeve Jerry Whitstock, Deputy Superintendent Wes Miskin, and Nathan Cooper from MLA.
Can everyone now please stand for the national anthem sung by Tyler Moulton?
Oh, I forgot to say it.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Tyler. We would like to call upon Melvin Wade, Pam Wade, and Marcy Steen to give the tri-campus address.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very honored to be a part of this esteemed day, a day that this wonderful class marks a passage from one part of life into the next. I'm Marcy Steen. I'm the Associate Principal at Carbon School, and I'm very proud to be a part of our tri-campus. I bring greetings from the students and staff of Carbon School. I wanted to share a part of a speech that I encountered a number of years ago that changed the way I live my day-to-day life. This speech was delivered as the commencement address to the graduates of University of Texas at Austin in 2014. Admiral William H. McCraven, a Navy SEAL, presented to the class, and he had 10 lessons that he wanted to share, but I want to share one of those with you. He says, every morning in basic SEAL training, my instructors, who at the time were mostly Vietnam veterans, would show up in my barracks room, and the first thing they would inspect was your bed. If you did it right, the corners would be square, the covers pulled tight, and the pillow centered right under the headboard. It was a simple task, mundane at best, but every morning we were required to make the bed to perfection. It seemed a little ridiculous at the time, particularly in the light of the fact that we were aspiring warriors, tough, battle-hardened SEALs, but the wisdom of this simple act has been proven to me many times over. You make your bed every morning. You will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never get the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to that bed that is made, that you made. A made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So he says, if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. At Carbon School, our vision is to develop lifelong learners that are inspired to achieve their personal excellence. And that is the most we can ask of any one of you. As you transition to the next chapter of your lives, find your passion, dedicate yourself to it, and soar. On behalf of all the students, staff, and the entire Village of Carbon, we congratulate Acme School's graduating class of 2022. And I'll leave you with a quote from Les Brown. You may have heard it. He advises, "Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you'll land among the stars." Congratulations.
Hard to follow. Good afternoon, everyone, graduates, families, staff. As a member of this group of 3 speakers that are here this afternoon, I'd like everyone to know, before I start, that my speech will be the least exciting and probably the least memorable, just so you know. So, as the representative of Dr. Elliott's school, my message to you, on behalf of our staff and this community, is that you remember that whenever you think back, whenever you tell someone where you went to school, whenever you describe what school was like when you were in elementary, junior high, high school, that you realize how really unique this experience has been. As far as I know, there's not a group of communities that has embraced this type of cooperation and innovation that's allowed all of you to come together today in this way. So you're each a completely unique individual and from a completely unique school situation. Don't forget either of those things, please, because all of us at Dr. Elliott School wish you the future that you're all dreaming of. Now, I also have some quotes to leave with you. My legendary Ron Swanson, "If any of you need anything at all, too bad. Deal with your problems yourselves like adults." Sound advice. And number 2, live your life how you want, but don't confuse drama for happiness. Congratulations.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to speak to you today on behalf of the staff of Acme School. Grads, congratulations to all of you on the achievement you are celebrating today. We as a staff are very proud of your accomplishments. The path that you have maneuvered the past 3 years is like no other. You have accepted the challenges, adapted with the changes, been resilient when you had to be, and embraced the opportunities presented to you, opportunities that classes before you took for granted. May you take those experiences and lessons with you as you take the next step to college, university, work, or travel. We wish you continued success as you complete your days as an Acme High School student. May graduation and all of the activities associated with it bring you and your families great joy, happiness, and pride. The adventure, whatever it is for each one of you, begins today. Congratulations.
Now please enjoy some class history from Cadence Fuller, Eric Wolstenholme-Schmidt, Elise Schmaltz, Spencer Barkman, and Emerson Gregory.
All right, so I'll be talking about Brittany Friesen first. I've known Brittany for 13 years, and ever since I can remember, Brittany has had such a strong passion for art. Not only did she love to draw, but she was absolutely amazing at it and could make any image come to life. I remember in elementary, we always knew who would get the best mark in our class, and it was not just because she was the only one who didn't draw stick figures. One fact about Brittany is she actually lived in Belize before coming here to Canada, and I always remember being so confused on why someone would be so content in such a colder climate, but Brittany never seemed to mind all the cold. Brittany is the kindest person who always wears a smile on her face. She plans to take a gap year and then possibly attend U of A for the arts program, where I know she'll blow more people away with her amazing art skills. I wish you all the best, Brittany.
Katie Eddie Veen. Katie is actually the only person in my class that I can remember an experience with in kindergarten. I remember we were walking down the stairs to go outside for recess, and she approached me and said, "Do you want to be my friend?" I wonder why this is the only memory I have from kindergarten, but Katie was the first person to make an impression on me in Acme School. I can't remember if she was feisty back then, but Katie is probably one of the most unfiltered people I've ever met. I have found humor in watching her correct people, telling people how she really feels, and making disgusted faces when someone says something dumb. I admire how she takes control of situations, that she is a leader and not a follower, and that she's been one of the strongest people I've ever met when times were rough. I envy the way she has an intelligent way of speaking about things, even though she probably doesn't even realize it. Katie, I know that you're a driven personality, and the way that you tell people exactly what you want will take you far in life. And I wish you all the luck in your future plans.
So I got Medeja. Medeja, for your first year at Acme High, you've shown honesty, hard work, and courage. I first got to know you through my coworker, who mentioned that there would be a new girl at Acme. And a week or so later, you came up to me, not knowing who I was, and asked for a ride to your grad photos. So, throughout those short rides that I've given you in the past few months, you've been able to create a comfortable atmosphere to talk to you and get to know you. I wish you luck and all the best in your future plans. I know you'll do great.
Oliver McKinley. He's not here today, but he's still part of our class. Oliver joined our class this year, and in the short time I've gotten to know him, he's a truly caring and thoughtful guy who has a bright sense of humor and a shining personality. I know he's got a long and successful career ahead of him, and I hope he truly knows that he fits into our class.
Yo, hey, you hear me? You can hear me, yeah? Word. Okay, so Nathaniel, or Nathaniel, once we kind of actually figured out how to pronounce his name, he's always been a person I could talk to about anything, no matter what, anything. He understands the ups and downs of pretty much anything. You can talk to him about anything. Hold up one moment, guys. I lost my page. Yeah, all right. And he'd help anyone in a heartbeat as long as he could, and he always always looks out for the guys. That's my bad. That's my bad, gang. So around grade 5, my favorite memory with Nathaniel was that winter time, we had a mission, and that was to make the coolest igloo any kid in grade 5 could ever made. So we spent all winter, up from when school finished that day to when I had to go home that night, we'd just make this igloo in his backyard. We spent all winter on it, had the coolest hallways, everything about it. The thing was dope, for real. And then, yeah, sure enough, we finally got it finished near the end, had the longest hallways, everything. It was so dope. Yeah. Well, and for Nano, I'm confident that he's going to go on to do everything he's ever imagined. He's just got such a drive. He knows what he wants, and he's going to go for it.
Okay, Tamara Lauper. I've known Tamara since kindergarten, and there isn't not a day that goes by where she isn't wearing a smile. Now, this isn't just any smile, it's a smile that can truly turn anyone's day around. Tamara is the least selfish person I know, and she is always there for anyone, no matter what. There have been countless times where Tamara has been there for me when I need it most, and I will forever be grateful. Tamara is such a welcoming person to everyone, and her house is truly the best place to hang out. I just want to say, Tamara, our friendship has meant a lot to me, and I'm reminded each day how lucky I am to have you. I'm so proud of how far Tamara has come, despite her many injuries in sports. She has been determined to get better as soon as possible anytime her knee has got the best of her. Even when she couldn't play, Tamara would still get involved and help on the bench and at all our practices. If that doesn't say dedication and show how passionate Tamara is about sports, then I don't know what does. I will never forget how we both ran to each other for a hug after winning the zone banner in basketball this year, because we truly have been together our entire sports journey, and it was such a big accomplishment for the both of us. Tamara is attending RDC to work towards achieving a Bachelor of Education, and it so happens that I'll be attending the same program at Red Deer. I can't wait to make so many more fun memories with you. Thank you for putting up with me for all these years, and I hope you can do it for more years to come.
Garrett Bertamini. From our first interaction, Garrett probably seems like a quiet and reserved person, keeps to himself, likes the usual things any boy his age would like. But from growing up with Garrett, I've come to realize he's not very shy, not very reserved, nor keeps to himself at all. I mostly figured all of that out this year. What did I expect, though? I think Garrett's whole wardrobe, and hair especially, resembles what a lot of us here would call a redneck. I even went so far as to look up the definition of a redneck, and it says, a working-class Caucasian, typically an extreme conservative that grows up in a rural area that consists of trailer parks. And I don't think there's anyone else other than Garrett himself that completely resembles that. I was actually curious to see if Garrett would cut his hair for this special occasion, but as I was writing this exact speech 2 weeks ago, I came to the conclusion that he was definitely keeping the mullet, or whatever he calls it. I'm happy that Garrett broke out of his shell this year, and that I got to know him more as a person, a classmate, and a friend. I admire that he is fearless, and that he is definitely the best steer rider in this school, and that he is outgoing, has so many friends from different towns, and that he's always been so kind to me. Garrett, I look forward to seeing where you will end up in the future, and I hope that your wife and boss love that mullet as much as you do.
So I got Sarah Henderson. Walking through school, I'd find Sarah to be an enjoyable presence. She was always talking passionately with her friends and soaking in conversation. No matter what situation Sarah was in, whether it was gym class, the classroom, she always put her best foot forward, trying her best and respecting others. Sarah, although not close to me, was always respectful to me in all her interactions. Anyone would be happy to be in Sarah's presence, and I know she's going to make a positive impact on those around her in whatever she decides to pursue after high school.
Kennedy Mack. Kennedy is a truly nice and caring person. I could say that firsthand, as during a local get-together at Swalwell, I found this hole just covered by grass, right on my ankle, just obliterated it. I'm just kind of hobbling around, and she was the first person to come over and help me across the road. She has always been a great person and knows how to take and make jokes. She is never far from the action and is always down to go out and have a fun time. She is a true-hearted person, and I am forever grateful to have known her as my friend.
All right, and I have Sawyer for this one. So Sawyer is also one of the few that have been around since the very beginning. So, and every other year, me and Sawyer got to play on the same hockey team, which was pretty cool. We even go on a championship banner. No biggie, no biggie. So we probably started going around classes together around grade 1, and ever since then I can just say he's had my back with every situation we've ever ran into. Any problem, anything, he's always been the one I could count on. One phone call away, he'd be the one there. You know what I mean? Yeah. My favorite memory with Sawyer probably would have to be all the times we just would walk around or drive around a little town of Carbon and just talk about everything. Any subject you could ever imagine, we'd just talk about it, strip it right down to the bone, figure it out, everything, for real. We always like to talk about the future of our friend group too, and just the Carbon boys as a whole, what we're all going to plan on doing in the future, what kind of impacts we're going to make on the world and all that. And I'm very confident that Sawyer's going to excel greatly in his chosen career path, and he's going to be the best of the sport, no doubt.
Okay, Rosie Pasqualini. Rosie and I have known each other for a very long time. We've been playing sports together since junior high, and since then, Rosie's never failed to give it her all. Rosie is such a passionate and kind person who, despite the situation, good or bad, can make anything funny. She has such a cheerful spirit and smiles no matter what. I'll always remember how we were at a basketball tournament in Banff, and we had to get up super early, and everyone was silent and all exhausted, but when I looked over at Rosie, she was the only one smiling and looked like she was having the best time ever. This really showed me that Rosie's personality shines through constantly, and she never struggles to make any moment memorable. Rosie and I have had many fun times together, like playing hide and seek in the school when the team slept over. Rosie plans on taking a gap year and upgrading courses that are needed to apply for kinesiology or EMT. Good luck, Rosie, and I know you'll do great things.
Kiara Pike. When Kiara first came to Acme School, she was very shy and she mostly kept to herself. I was excited to play sports with her and to get to know her a little better. And I would have never expected this girl to have one of the most loud and scary voices I've ever heard come out of a girl. Usually I don't get pumped up by very many things in sports, but Kiara's almost Viking belching of a scream practically scared me into being pumped. I would have never imagined little shy Kiara in elementary school to be so encouraging and confident and make me feel like we had the best team ever. Kiara is so intelligent and creative and is probably the most amazing artist I've ever met. She can take nothing and turn it into something amazing, and she probably doesn't even realize how much the people around her really admire her art. She's also an amazing actor, driven, and knows what she wants. If there was a most likely to be famous in our class, it would definitely be Kiara. It would be, Kiara, I wish you luck in your future plans, and I look forward to see where your creativeness will take you.
So I got Braden Johns. Braden Johns is a very passionate individual. Whether it was playing baseball or ranting about his music tastes, Braden made sure his opinion was heard. In junior high, Braden and I were on a walk home, as we did most days, talking about his favorite artist, at least at the time, Michael Jackson. So as I continued to disagree with about a scandal, as I continued to disagree with him, he got more and more aggravated, and he was so mad about his artist not being appreciated, and so he smacked me on top of my head, and we went on for the rest of the walk about how I was wrong. He really showed me his passion for the things he loved, and baseball plays a key role in Braden's life. Ever since I met him, he was always on top of all the stats for each team and player, and besides that, he worked hard pitching to create amazing opportunities for himself. Braden, I wish you the best in whatever you decide to do, which I'm guessing is baseball.
Quentin Martin. Quentin came to our class in junior high, and he's been a great addition. He is full of an extroverted personality and has a deep love for history and the Army. He's always been an overly generous guy who would give us pop or cookies during film studies or offer to buy us food. He's been a good friend who's always there and always has a take on the local news, and he's always got interesting stories to tell. It's been great knowing him, and I'll always remember him as one of our class.
Deacon. Deacon's probably the heart of our group. We love the kid to death, honestly. And Deacon, he loves everybody too. He's considerate about everyone, no matter what. He just loves everybody. He's a very open guy, always welcomes anyone with any open arms. And Deacon, he has multiple nicknames, but there's a lot too many to get into at the moment. We'd be here for hours. But Deacon's always stood up straight when the roof caves in. He's always been a solid friend. You could always rely on him, and he always makes sure that the guys are always in line. And my favorite memory with Deacon probably would have had to be on the ski trip when me and Deacon were skiing. I was not prepared to go down a blue hill, and Deacon took me down a blue one anyways. And so we're going down that thing. I'm wobbling back and forth everywhere. I was waiting to fall. And here comes Deacon zipping right past me. He's speed wobbling, and then he eats it right in front of me. And I go toppling over this guy, like whole yard sale going on. It was insane. There were skis, there was boards everywhere. And we just probably laid like 5 feet from each other just laughing. It was what it was. But I'm confident Deacon, he's going to tackle everything he does with life just how he does now, and he's going to do everything Tiger does, but 10 times better.
Okay, Cadence Fuller. I've known Cadence since grade 7, and ever since then, I've always been grateful to have such a driven leader on the court during sports. She is always determined to win and get the team to where it deserves to be. Cadence always has the best stories to tell and never fails to make anyone laugh. Another thing Cadence is great at is making friends with anyone and everyone. Anytime we traveled to sports or went to a party, Cadence never had a problem talking to people she didn't know. She is also amazing at braiding hair, so I'm sure you can imagine how busy she was on road trips during sports. And she would literally say no to anyone, so most of the time she'd be willing to braid the whole team's hair. So that I thank you for. Cadence plans to take a year off to finish the HCA program and upgrade her physics to apply to SATE for diagnostic sonography. Good luck, Cadence.
Brenna Straub. Boo-boo. It's not every day that someone gets the privilege of going to school with their cousin, especially for 14 years altogether. She's been my teammate in sports, partner in many school projects, and even became one of my best friends. Poor Brenna had a rough go this basketball season. Early on, Brenna developed a blister on her foot that we all didn't think very much of, but after a few days, this blister popped and became one of the worst infections I'd ever seen. Even though she had this blister for the whole season, she fought through it and continued to play. And when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Brenna ended up losing 6 of her toenails, which still haven't grown back. Brenna also struggled with shin splints and broke her ankle 2 times over the past couple years. I honestly don't know how she managed all of this, but I think it really reflects on the type of person Brenna is. She's someone that I could count on even when she had all of this going on, and she's been a role model to me since day one. Our relationship has definitely shaped me into who I am today. She's influenced me to make some of my best life decisions and definitely some of my worst. There's always the angel on one shoulder that says good things like, "No, Cadence, that's a bad idea." And then there's Brenna on the other shoulder whispering bad ideas into my ear. It usually starts with her saying, "If you do it, then I'll do it too." How could I say no to that? Of course, most of the time these decisions ended with, "What the heck were we thinking and why did we do that?" Parents always say to their kids, "If your friend jumped off of a bridge, would you do it too?" Well, if it's Brenna, then I guess I'm jumping off of that bridge. She's definitely taught me to live in the moment and that we really do only live once. Even though I look back and I think, wow, I'll never do that again, or I can't believe we actually did that, I would not take any of it back, because any crazy story that I could tell, there Brenna was always by my side, living and learning and being one of the most loyal friends I could ever ask for. Boo-boo, I wish you luck in your future plans, and I hope you find yourself that rich dairy farmer you always talk about.
So I got Elise, which is standing right beside me. Elise, or as many of others, or I and many others called her when she was little, Lily, is one of the most kind and easygoing people. She's been one of my greatest friends through my life, lifting me up in hard times and cheering me on when I was at my best. When we were younger, Elise and I would wander into her, or Elise would wander into her own fantasies, and she would express them to me as if they were real. At our babysitter's house, where we met, we frequently would jump into this slow electric golf cart and roam about the property, talking about and getting stuck. At random points throughout our rides, Elise would randomly point at things and claim that since she went to karate, which she didn't, that she could chop them in half. This karate joke continued into junior high, where she had me convinced for 2 years straight that she had done karate. Elise is also one to never say no to adventure. Every time we'd hang out, I came up with some sporadic plan. Elise would back me up in good or bad. And even, Elise is one of those people that even if you didn't talk to her for a year straight and you gave her a text or a call or whatever, she would always have my back, anybody's back. She's genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
Avery Miller.
Oh boy.
So last summer, Avery offered to take me to BC with him for a week. Lots of rather interesting things happened, but one thing sticks out in particular. So Avery, Spencer, and Quinn and I, we were riding this little stupid alligator floaty tied to the back of Mike's, Avery's dad's boat, and I swear Mike was hoping to send one of us flying. He was just whipping it around. And on one turn, he just smashed the floaty right into the wake, and Avery and I just went flying. And as we were swimming back to the floaty, Avery begins climbing on right in front of me, and apparently the splash had brought his shorts down on the backside a fair bit, showing his bare butt right in my face. So now I do what any good person would do, and I turn the other cheek just to see Avery's family on the boat laughing at him. So if this doesn't give you a good idea of what Avery's like, then I don't know what will. But he's a sweet guy on the inside who lives up to be like the rest of his family, kind and loving Albertan farmers.
And we got Tanner. Big man, stand up. Tanner is a very well-spoken individual who stands very firm on what he's always believed in. He's always been a unique person since the day I've ever met him. Tanner's always been able to draw people towards him with his comedic, kind of charisma, I guess you could say. He's always been able to draw everybody towards him and always been a social butterfly. I'll say around last summer, we went to downtown Calgary, me, Tanner, Hudson, and Caleb, and we seen the craziest stuff ever, honestly. It was insane. You've seen everything you had never seen in Carbon or Acme or Linden, not for real. For real. We were able to walk around and just enjoy the city and enjoy the bright lights and all that. We even went down to the creek or the river, whatever one it's called, and then we just looked at the city and it just looked like a big glowing orb and just sat there for hours just talking. With Tanner, he hasn't really specified what he wants to do, but he wants to do a lot of things. But I'm sure with Tanner, he's going to excel greatly in every field he ever decides to touch, and he'll impact everyone he's ever done by doing it.
Okay, Caleb Pannett. I've known Caleb forever. Caleb has such a unique and authentic personality that becomes evident through whatever he does. One thing anyone who knows Caleb will talk about is his talent as a musician. I'll never forget when Caleb put on a concert in junior high for the school and how blown away we all were after truly seeing what Caleb can do. I really wish Caleb brought his guitar today to give us a little show, but I don't think he did. Caleb has such a welcoming and fun personality. He is also a phenomenal hockey player, and I remember when I went to go see one of his games, his team quite literally dominated the other team, and it was only possible with Caleb's amazing goalie skills. Caleb has such a passionate and driven personality, and I'll always remember when Caleb was on my bus in elementary, and even though we were in grade 2, he had no trouble putting high schoolers in their place. Caleb has always had the best hair, as you can tell today. With such a contagious laugh and great jokes, Caleb never fails to make anyone laugh. Caleb plans to do a 5-year contract with Dragon Excavating, then buy a home with his own rock and roll studio to start his own band called Planetarium.
Yes, sir.
To start a new wave of Canadian thrash metal. I wish you all the luck at whatever you decide to do in the future, where I hope you'll never lose your caring and humorous self.
Caden Banfield. There's always that one person that you know that has no concept of money at all, and that is Caden. Every single spare class, he would sit beside me and show me a car, a house, a vacation to a tropical place, and the most expensive things an 18-year-old could ever buy. He convinced me every time that he was actually going to get these things too, and that he somehow had thousands of dollars laying around ready to spend. I don't know where this money spending obsession started, but I don't think I've ever seen someone spend $30 at a vending machine besides Caden. I don't mind though, because I got a pack of gummy worms almost every day from him. A while ago he told me he was going to buy a car just for grad and then destroy it and leave it somewhere. Again, I had no idea where this money came from, but when I asked him how much money he actually had, he said about $3,000. I guess that was enough, according to Caden, to buy a $10,000 car, a home, a vacation, and everything else. But not only was he rich, he was also a straight A student back in Drumheller, according to him. And it was ironic that I didn't see him in any Dash 1 classes with me, but I guess he was Bill Gates or Elon Musk or something, according to him. Although I question him sometimes, he's also funny and has a good heart, is passionate about his work, and has set a bright future for himself. Caden, I hope you become as rich as you always brag you're going to be, and I wish you luck in the future.
Quinn Sawyer, or as I call him, Quinny. He's always wired to the nines and sporadic. When I met him, you were always wired and ready to go do something. Whenever we were hanging out, you would never sit still. This urge to be active always made memories. And for example, in grade 10, you had invited me over for a New Year's party. I came over in the afternoon, we sat up for about an hour, and Quinn said, just to kill some time, we should take the quad and the calf sled out to do some laps around his farm. We did some laps in the field, and Quinn was attempting to toss me off the sled. When I wasn't coming off, he decided it would be a great idea to aim for what he claims was a pile of hay in the field. It wasn't a pile of hay, it was a large pile of rocks. I proceeded to fly 5 feet in the air, land directly on my tailbone, and when Quinn drove around, he was laughing so hard he could barely stay on the quad. While Quinn will make you do stunts or torture you with little pranks, at the end of the day, he was always there for me to support me and distract me from whatever I had on my mind. We spent many late nights talking about future plans and what we were going to do, and I can't wait for more fun late nights with you, Quinn. Happy graduation.
Spencer Barkman. There's a lot I could say about Spencer, a lot of things I'm sure he'd wish I wouldn't say, such as the time he wore cat ears made of popsicle sticks, his Halloween costume called Jen, that his head is so large his hats need a belt to keep them on, and the true amount of money he's poured into his sardine can of a car. I've had a lot of good times with Spencer, and my favorite story of him, possibly one of them, is when we got corralled in a cow pasture with quite possibly the biggest bull I've ever seen. And man, did he mean business, snorting and kicking at us. But I knew I'd be fine, as I'm pretty positive that I can outrun Spencer. Unless there's food at the finish line. But he's truly the nicest and purest person I've ever met, and it's an honor to be his friend.
We got Kieran. Kieran's has always been passionate about... Whoa, hold the phone, that was too loud. Kieran has always been passionate about everything he's ever done, and he's always been insanely smart. And the drip is rather immaculate. Bro used to wear a red hoodie, blue jeans, shoes. That was the fit every day. That was how you knew it was Kieran. You could tell just by the fit, it was beautiful. Kieran's always liked to keep to himself, but never minds having a nice talk with anyone. And it was always cool back in junior high whenever Kieran would show us anything that had to do with coding or all the stuff we had to do with tech. Kieran always knew all of it. My favorite memories with Kieran is when we all used to play random multiplayer games on the computers in the computer lab, and Kieran would whoop every single one of us. He would always be on top. No one could ever beat Kieran, no matter how hard we tried, and we tried every day. and he was always better. There's no doubt in my mind that Kieran's going to go on to do great things and continue to impress everyone with how smart he really is.
Colton Barrett. I haven't known Colton for that long, but one thing that became very evident to me when I met him was his charismatic personality. He never failed to open the door for anyone and smiles all the time in the halls. Colton is the kind of guy who would give up his seat on the bus for someone who needed it more than him, and that sure says a lot about who he is. Colton was very involved in the organization of our grad, and I'd like to thank him and his mom for all the effort that was put forward to make today possible. Colton plans to attend Old College to work towards becoming a vet tech assistant. I wish you all the best in the future, Colton.
Emerson Gregory. Emmy. There's way too many stories that I could tell about this kid, but I'll keep it to a limited few. I didn't really know Emerson in junior high, but it didn't take me long to remember the name Emerson Gregory. One of my earliest memories of Emmy was in grade 8 at the leadership dance. Mr. Wade and Mr. Bogle were watching our dance, enjoying their time, but that was not good enough for Emerson. I'd never seen a boy twerk before, let alone how oddly good Emerson can do it. But Emerson broke it down on the dance floor and was not holding back either. This kid was twerking on the walls, on the floor, on people, and even went right up to Mr. Wade and Mr. Bogle and gave them an interesting show. There was even a point in the dance where Caleb told me to keep Emerson away from him because he was genuinely scared of Emerson's dancing. I'll never forget looking at Mr. Wade and seeing the complete disappointment in his eyes at that moment. I realized I had a long way ahead of me of entertaining experiences with Emerson. Not surprisingly, this interesting dance would carry on into high school. In grade 11, we had a dance unit in gym class, and Emerson's group made up their own dance. The whole dance was pretty normal until the boys spread out and made a circle around Emerson. I'd like to say I didn't know what was coming, but I was honestly waiting for it to happen. Emerson twerked in front of the whole grade 11 and 12 gym class, and I guarantee that Mr. Muldrup still has the video of it. Emerson was definitely the teacher's favorite student, and I guarantee that they all loved when he aggressively banged on the outside of doors in the middle of class, when he peeped his head through the door in every class to call Deacon some inappropriate name that made him uncomfortable, when he took my Lululemon booty shorts and wore them around school, and when he hid in Mrs. Ziegler's storage closet in math and waited in there for 10 minutes and then burst out of it pretending like he didn't know where he was. Emerson, my high school experience definitely would have not been the same without you. Even when you did something so bad that I ducked my head down in embarrassment for you, I'll never forget that you made me laugh every single day. I wish you luck in your future plans, and I'm really excited to see where you go.
Eric Wolstenholm Schmidt. I and those who know Eric, and most know him from his height alone, know him as a kind-hearted, hardworking, adventurous, smart, and generous individual. What most don't know about Eric is his one secret, almost mystical talent. That is, that he never gets caught. It all started at leadership camp in grade 9, when us boys snuck out of our tent to go talk to the girls, and Eric got spotted red-handed and somehow wearing only his PJs in the cold with no jacket and I believe no shirt. He convinced Mr. Bogle that he had to use the washroom. From that moment on, Eric somehow, in every sketchy situation we got ourselves into, he never got caught. It was actually nice being with him because it felt like it rubbed off on you, which it didn't. Many of us got caught, but Eric somehow snuck away. Anyway, Eric, you've worked so hard to be where you are today, making your dreams come true, all the while supporting others and their dreams. I've watched you pause your whole day to stop and sit and listen to someone and their problems, all the while giving advice and caring about your own burdens. I don't need to wish you luck, because I know you don't need it or believe in it, so cheers to many more adventures.
Okay, Brinley Loner. Oh, Eric, you go.
Yeah, just finish.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Damon Smeltzer. Damon joined our rat pack of a class in middle of elementary, and I've seen that man grow more than most. He's really paved his own road in life and always has a good take on the current debates of the world, and he will stand by his side if it means life or limb. He's a truly smart guy, and though the navigation of the outdoor Ed Woods may have been perhaps one of his weaker links of his skills, it sure made one of the most memorable and funniest experiences of my entire time in high school. I can't wait to see him make the next Facebook or the next big game engine or even a best-selling novel, as that's just the type of guy he is. An honest guy with a blossoming imagination and an impeccable humor.
Okay, Brinley Loner. Ever since I've known Brinley, she has always been the smartest person I know. Brinley and I have always been competing in academics, and she's always kept me on my toes. Every time I thought I did good on a test, I would see her mark and rethink that thought. She's a very kind person who never fails to help anyone she can. I can't be happier that she is our valedictorian this year. It was well-deserved, Brinley. I was so happy when Brinley came to our school from Carbon because it gave me a chance to get to know her more during sports especially, and escape those Carbon boys, of course. You may not know this, but Brinley does archery. She doesn't just do archery, though. She's absolutely incredible at it, bringing home many titles after the countless competitions she goes to. Shooting as a junior in the compound equipment category, she was nationally ranked by Archery Canada in 2021 as 3rd outdoor, 1st indoor, and 2nd in field target archery. Her short-term goal is to attend the Canada Winter Games and the Youth Pan Am Championships, which is incredible. Her long-term goal is to be selected for the national team to continue to shoot at world events. Wow, Brinley, all I have to say is keep shooting for the stars. Well, maybe not literally, try to keep aiming for the target, but you get what I mean.
Alexis Williams. Lexi Lou. Lexi is probably one of the hardest people to read that I've ever met. All through junior high, I would always see her giggling about something, but I never knew what could possibly be so funny. This year, Lexi became one of my best friends, and I finally got to see what the giggling was all about. One time in biology class with Lexi and Brenna, I looked over at Lexi's phone, and in her search bar was drag queen fails. And she was crying laughing at watching drag queens fall off stages and accidentally hurt themselves. At this moment, I obviously thought, what the heck? I don't know Lexi at all. But I was wrong because this went on for the whole year. I remember watching, and I quote, fat people fighting, Shrek memes, and of course, the most mature one of them all, a 10-hour continuous loop of fart noises that Lexi, Brenna, Tamara, and I could all hear on our earphones at the same time. Mrs. Turner asked me multiple times in biology why I was laughing so hard. Well, Mrs. Turner, I was laughing at a 10-hour continuous loop of fart noises. But the noises and videos weren't it. She also drew very questionable things in her math book every day. I guarantee that Lexi's math book has more drawings of Gru from Despicable Me than the actual math notes. Lexi, from getting to know you this year, I've come to admire so many things about you. I admire your honesty and that you've never been two-sided with me. I admire the times when you have no filter, and I, of course, admire how funny you are, because I don't think I'll ever have another classmate watch drag queens tripping and falling on their face beside me in class. I wish you luck in Mount Royal University next year, but maybe you should listen to your professor this time instead of a 10-hour loop of fart noises.
Tyler Moulton. My boy Tyler, I met him on the soccer pitch in U8 soccer, which is, we're just little guys. I didn't really know a soul on the team besides Elise, so I was a bit out of my element. Though I don't remember our interaction that season, I remember coming back the next year and instantly recognizing the curly-haired Newfoundlander. He was always kind to me during all those soccer seasons, and we were great friends on the field. When I came to Dr. Elliott in grade 7, Tyler was the first kid to come up to me, introduce me to his friends, and welcome me to the group. Tyler helped me out constantly, and we just began to click. I was a very shy boy, and Tyler constantly got me out of my comfort zone to where I could truly be myself. Throughout junior high, me and him would hang out most days after school and almost every weekend. We would walk around town until the sun went down and talk about girls, sports, and what other nonsense young boys talk about. The funny thing about high school is that no matter what plans you make with your friends before it, they almost never work out. People change, grow up, develop new friends and interests. And even though me and Ty didn't hang out every day in high school or do the things we planned in junior high, we still remain best friends, and we will always be, and we will always have each other's backs. I love you, dude.
Cassidy Kirk. So I gotta be a little careful what I say, because I might never hear the end of it. So I figured a story of her and I should work just fine. So early on in our relationship, I decided I should take Cass fossil hunting with me. And I guess in my excitement, I decided that trying to go down the steepest cliff around was the smartest way to get to the bottom. And it wasn't. And she figured that out pretty quick and kind of had a panic attack and just started going right back to the top with no concern about me at all. I wasn't doing good either. Like, if you want to get rid of me, I think there's easier ways. But in all honesty, she's the best person I've ever met, and she's been through trial after trial, and she always comes out on top. To be her own person, to be the person that can make even the most stone-faced man smile, and for that, I can truly say that I love her.
And I just got a quick shout out for a friend named Nick Getler. He's not here today. He's got to graduate with a different school. And it sucks that he's not here, but just for all the Carbon guys as well, I'm grateful for all the memories we've been able to make with each other, just all the years of being in a little town with like no more than 500 people in it. It gets boring, but we were able to make it fun every day in, day out. So for that, I'm forever grateful, and I hope everyone, good luck.
That was great. I think we all learned a little something about our grads. Now, thanks to the tireless efforts of Eric, Spencer, and Cadence, please enjoy their lives through pictures in the slideshow presentation.
topics that I wanted to cover and the words of encouragement that I could share. Then I was reminded about the fate of the famous Greek philosopher Socrates, who lived a very long time ago. Socrates was very intelligent, but Socrates gave long speeches and his friends killed him. Since I am no Socrates, nor do I want to end up like Socrates, I will be brief and to the point. When we first walked through the doors of Acme High School back in grade 10, we were eager to begin a new chapter in our lives. We dreamed of sports tournaments and field trips. None of us anticipated that it would take such a wild turn. Throughout our time in high school, we were faced with hoop after hoop to jump through to get our education. Many of the aspects of high school that students look forward to were taken from us. Despite facing unusual circumstances, we took these challenges in stride and continued to thrive. Our unusual high school experience has taught us to be resilient, to recover quickly when faced with difficulties, as the Oxford English Dictionary put it. We have learned that we may stumble and we may fall, but more importantly, we will get back up again. As we leave high school, we will take this resilience we have learned with us into our future. We are entering into our biggest adventure yet, which will test our strengths and push us out of our comfort zones, and we will conquer it. As J.M. Barrie wrote in his novel Peter Pan, to live would be an awfully big adventure. And so today, for each and every one of us, that adventure begins.
And now what we've all been waiting for, Pam Wade and Mr. Lavin, please come forward to present the graduation scrolls and pins. Emerson Gregory.
Braden Johns.
Deacon Benson.
Sawyer Still.
Garrett Bertamini.
Nathaniel Ferguson.
Caleb Panet.
Tanner Morgan.
Quinton Martin.
Eric Wolstenholme Schmidt.
Spencer Barkman.
Avery Miller.
Tamara Lauper.
Colton Barrett.
Kieran Poirier.
Tyler Moulton.
Caden Banfield.
Damon Smeltzer.
Madeja Guay.
Quinn Sawyer.
Elise Schmaltz.
Brinley Loner.
Rosie Pasqualini.
Katie Edivine.
Brittany Friesen.
Kiara Pike.
Sarah Henderson.
Cadence Fuller.
Brenna Straub.
Kennedy Mack.
Alexis Williams.
Cassidy Kirk.
And now, to keep with tradition, the grads will sing the Acme School fight song.
Here's the fight song. That's it.
Now, before we conclude the graduation ceremony, we would like to say a special thank you to Mrs. Campion and Mrs. Rose for their hard work and dedication of getting this all put together. So if you two ladies could please come up and accept your presents. This now concludes the graduation ceremony.